Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Couch Racing Chronicles, episode number 10. How did we make it this far? I don't know. As always, I'm AJ, Team 17 admin, the bitch-ass motherfucker who just exists, apparently, and is running on only one or two brain cells right now. But, glad to be back for another episode. We had a very, very juicy weekend in Indy, but we will get to that momentarily. As always, I am not alone. Who do we got today?
I am the other bitch that just exists in these podcasts. Hello, everybody. My name is Shani. I am the William Byron Simp in this podcast.
That was it?
Yes.
Okay, I can accept that.
Okay, well, what's up, everybody? Checker here. Sorry, I was going for. Sorry, I just made my way past. The Indy 5. Oh wait, you're telling me. You're telling me this was a different race. Oh, okay. Let me just go to the cornfield. Anyways, what's up, everybody? Checker here. We just got back from Indianapolis. It's been a interesting weekend. Totally nothing controversial, nothing blowing. Nothing melting down Twitter. Anyways, we'll get to that in a bit. So, without further ado, welcome back, and yeah, let's have some fun.
It is just the three of us right now, unfortunately. Sonny is here in the chat with us, but he is not speaking at the moment. His mic is muted. And as always, we have our lovely audio person, ISO, in the background. We appreciate her, as always. And today, we actually have a guest on this podcast for the first time in a couple of episodes. Our good friend James has joined us today. James, welcome to the show, my friend.
Hello, I'm happy to be here.
Yes, of course. I know you've just actually started listening to us a couple weeks ago, if I'm not, a couple weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, as always, we appreciate that because this is kind of a joint effort that we just threw together on Memorial Day weekend. So, I mean, a lot of work went into making this happen, and we appreciate all the support we can get. So, without further ado, I would get right to the opening segment, but I wanted to put James on the spotlight here for a little bit. But so I gotta ask, how long have you been a Daniel Suarez fan? First of all,
Incredibly, almost 10 years now. I started pulling for him after he won his first Xfinity race at Michigan. It's such a stupid reason. It was like, if someone could beat Kyle Busch in an Xfinity race, I'm going to pull for him. And that's what he did.
I mean, look at Channy over here. His first driver was Martin Truex Jr. When we got him into the sport, and when Truex won the Clash in 23, and he literally just said, "Whoever wins the Clash is going to be my driver." So that ain't exactly. Wait, what?
That was also the same race. I was gonna say that was also the same race. He also said, "I will crash out if Denny Hamlin wins the race."
Yeah. He did say that. That is unfortunately true. But yeah, I mean, but you have not just only Suarez, but you have a crap ton of drivers. I know Buscher's one of them, right?
Yeah, Buescher, Bowman, Tosavar, Gragson, Gilliland, other Trackhouse guys. Gibbs is my number 2 right now, too.
Damn. Talk about half the field, SMH.
Yeah.
No, that's all right. I tell people this all the time, and it's good to be diverse. It's good to have multiple drivers on multiple forms of disciplines of each track, right? So I'm all for it. Buscher's not my only driver, of course. I also root for Chase Briscoe. Noah Gragson, I rooted for him when he was in Xfinity. Who else? Zane Smith, that's another one I quietly root for. But, it's just drivers I've, watched throughout the years and see how successful they've become. And a good chunk of them are already in Cup, so that's cool. But yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's awesome. So let's get into the weekend. Indy. Well, unfortunately, what I thought would happen, did happen. Connor Zilic won again in the Xfinity race. He had a good car. There was no doubt about it. But the 7 was probably the car to beat if that little scuff up he got into with the 17 did not happen. I think Justin Allgaier would have easily won the Xfinity race. The truck race, Lane Riggs, checker, got to shout you out. Lane Riggs got the W at IRP. And then on Sunday, I cannot believe I am saying this, Bubba Wallace snapped a 100 race winless streak on Sunday and is a Brickyard 400 winner. How do we feel about that?
Honestly, the funny thing is, everyone is literally everyone like on Twitter and Facebook obviously would have a meltdown right now because it's Bubba Wallace, and it's actually pretty surprising. Actually, I was really keen thinking Larson was going to be the better car, but Bubba, of course, because the rain, you had the rain, of course, during that, but then Bubba just saved enough strategy. Just like wow, he actually did it, and this is, I think, what like I read something like apparently this is the second time an open charter team won a race like right here the modern era. Like I know because you had SVG SVG went to Chicago like in the '91, and then Bubba of course 2311 February with the whole Law and Order but I won't go into that. But with them winning, this is definitely a big moment for 2311, like a stick, like basically a middle finger in the face of NASCAR, kinda, to basically have one of the uncharted teams that are currently in a lawsuit battle with win a race and are now in the playoffs. That's just my stand. I think Bubba Wallace did an amazing job, and the strategy was just right on the point, right on the nose.
Yeah, Sonny said here in the chat that Bubba did deserve it. It's honestly been a long time coming, and the feeling of throwing these monkeys off your back is so relieving. Godspeed to Bubba. No, I definitely agree. I mean, Bubba's really improved on speed alone in the last probably the last 2.5 years, probably ever since. I'd argue 2023. He had a good chance to win a couple races that year, and unfortunately, just it did not come to fruition with Booty Barker on the box. But no, this is big. This is a big win for that team. That's their first Crown Jewel win. That's Bubba's first Crown Jewel win as a driver, so that's impressive. And it's just the thing about Bubba is he's really, ever since he became a dad, since Bex was born, his son, I feel like he's become this different person that we never really, what's the word I'm looking for here? We would never guess out of Bubba, right? Because and I do not fault Bubba for what I'm about to say here, because Bubba does ride with his heart on his sleeve. Okay, he is very mental. He does struggle with some mental health issues, right? And he gives everything he's got, right? And this is big for that team. This is big for him. This is big for his wife, Amanda. There's just everyone involved, right? So big deal. And winning the Brickyard 400 is no easy feat, especially at a track like Indy where you cannot pass. And that was the definite problem with Sunday's race. There was absolutely 0 green flag passes for the lead unless you blew a tire, right? Or under green flag pit stops. So, I mean, that's not really a next-gen problem. That's more so, that's more so of an Indy issue, because there's not really multiple lanes where you could really pass. And I know Sonny would absolutely agree with that, even though he can't really say anything right now, but I'm pretty sure he's basically nodding to everything I'm saying right now. So, but for us, we had a pretty good weekend. Unfortunate, it came apart on the final restart. The final overtime restart. We had a shot to get a top 5, probably a top 10. I still don't know what happened. I was completely dumbfounded. We restarted, I think, 8th or 9th, and I think we overdrove 3, and we got loose, and the car just wobbled, and we fell back. And ultimately, we finished 14th, Oh, okay. I'll read Sonny's comment in a minute. We had a good weekend, qualified great, just unfortunate, we threw away a potential good top 10, but I mean, with Bubba winning, that did put us kind of in trouble in points. We're pretty much in a must-win situation now, even though we are above the cutoff. But we have a good couple tracks coming up for RFK in the next couple weeks, so I'm not really worried about it. Mr. Checker, how was your weekend, sir?
Honestly, this is really well. First off, we got obviously I'm gonna get this out of the way already. I'm really happy that late rigs, came out and actually showed up and won an IRP. That was really awesome to see. Great Ambigger also a top 5 in that at the same night. That's a good. I'd say it's a good week. Then of course, Allgaier, just yeah. We had the best car, but of course, yeah, that happened. But I'd say we still had a good day either way, despite the ending. And then Sunday, Brad once again showing up a little bit, got top 5, really impressive towards the end. I literally love that. Blaney 7th, not bad. And then you have Bell also 8th. So basically, all my drivers had a solid, top 10. So I'd say that's a good day at the end of the day. But honestly, shout out to John Hunter Nemechek as well. 12th, really good for that legacy car. That legacy car, is always spot on and spot off, kind of back and forth. But the car is getting faster, I swear. I feel like Legacy is figuring out that pace. But overall, the question is, though, with Brad's, yes, I know. Would you be quiet? Anyways, with Brad's, current top speed, do you think that 6 is finally, trying to figure out the pattern, or do you think it's still kind of 50-50, Brad, finally finding what he needs, to try to catch up, basically?
Well, okay, so I was actually going to mention this too, but ever since Brad got his first top 5 of the year at Charlotte in the 600, he's been on a very, very awesome uphill climb. And shut up, Siri. He's been on a very strong uphill climb, and I'm all here for it. He climbed from 33rd in points up to he's now like 26th or 27th, which that's still. A lot of people are like, oh, that's still not great. Yes, but we take what we can get here, right? And he's been doing so much better with this summer stretch. And I'm really, really glad to see Brad's finally getting that break. And we have a good couple tracks here that Brad is very good at, Daytona especially. We know that 6 car is going to be really fast at Daytona. And Richmond, too. Richmond, he was really fast there in 23. Do not count him out, for sure. But it's good to see all the RFK cars are starting to finally thrive. Sonny, he said his weekend was also looking good. Then he got some nose damage from the 21 spinning the tires during stage 2. I gotta ask, what happened to Josh Berry there at the end? Did he run out of gas?
Yeah, he ran out of fuel. I saw someone put his legs on board. He ran out down the backstretch the last lap.
Oh, that's unfortunate. He was going to have a top 5 day. Man, I don't know what it is, but ever since that win for the 21 guys, they cannot catch a break. I don't know what the deal is. But, yeah. What more can you really do there? Oh boy, Mr. Channy over here. Another Brian Priest top 5.
Yes, sir.
How do we feel about that?
Honestly, Ryan Priest has been, been solid ever since he joined RFK.
Yeah, Ryan Priest is and I was speaking of Ryan Priest, he was actually on the Dale Jr. Download this week. I listened to that interview. That was a really good interview. Let me tell you something. Do not sleep on Ryan Priest. He is a very good short track racer. Won the modified championship in 2013. He is somebody to definitely, could be very lights out, not only this weekend, but Richmond too in a couple weeks. So definitely looking forward to possibly seeing him get potentially his first career win. And you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and say this now. If he does win and we get knocked out because of it, I won't be mad about it. Because if that means one of our cars is going to be in the playoffs, I'm all for it. So, absolutely. And the thing about Ryan, too, is he's become a whole lot better at not only plate racing, too, but road courses, too. Ryan used to struggle on road courses for the longest time, and I think ever since he went to RFK, he finally got it figured out. And I'm all here for it. So, and I wish him nothing but the best in the next couple of weeks here, especially. Oh, boy. James, another rough weekend for Suarez.
Well, it was looking good. He actually had some great pace early on. Finished 13th stage 1. And then, Sonny said, Josh Berry decided, hey, let's not go on the restart. And that killed our race.
Yeah, which, that's unfortunate because it's kind of been the story of the for Trackhouse alone and this season. I feel like I mentioned this a couple episodes back. I feel like Suarez has had it really rough over the last couple of weeks. Or I'm sorry, the last couple of years. I don't think it's more so that they've given up on him, because that is absolutely not true, because Justin Marks thinks very highly of him. I think it just comes down to just Daniels getting out of what he can get out of the car, basically. And, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, right? But it's just unfortunate, because I feel like he's a very talented driver, very talented on road courses, but I feel like Trackhouse as a whole has kind of fallen off of a cliff recently. I mean, Ross has been really good, do not get me wrong, and I mean, SVG's just been dominant on road courses, but I don't know what's going on in the 99 camp, and my question to you, James, is do you think this could potentially be a setup for failure position if Connor Zilisch does go to the 99 car?
A setup for failure, as in for failure for Connor. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know per se, because that's the 99. The pit crew on the 99 is amazing. We got a great pit crew. It's just, I don't know. Yes, Trackhouse taking steps down. You can see that. I mean, heck, when Ross got wrecked by McDowell, Indy, he wasn't even running that well in the first place. And Ross earlier in the season said we need to get better at qualifying. So there was obviously a pace problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's probably the biggest thing that is one of Trackhouse's major downfalls this year is their metrics have not been good, and it's clearly shown in qualifying, and Suarez especially, because Suarez is usually rarely ever in Group 2, and that's where you want to be when you qualify as Group 2. So, I mean, They need to figure it out fast, because we're getting close to the start of the playoffs. I know I'm just going to be realistic here and I say I don't see them making it. I don't see them unless they get a very fluke win.
Unless he wins Daytona. I do not see
Right,
I don't either.
Yeah, unless he wins Daytona, which I don't think that's going to happen, being honest, because Suarez's luck at Daytona has been very hit or miss over the last couple of years. I mean, hell, the dude was on fire last year. But yeah, I mean, I pull for Suarez, and I really wish him luck. It's just I don't know what to say, except I feel bad, because he it seems like he can't get out of his own way either in that situation too. But I mean, it could be worse. You could have lived through the pain of being also a semi-Martin Truex Jr. fan from 2022. Oh, anyway, but normally we would have an Ask AJ this week, but we're gonna go ahead and hold off on it. Well, I mean, James did have a question for me if you wanted to ask, but
I mean, if that's fine, I'll ask.
Yeah, go for it.
So it's one thing I pointed out during the race, and most of the time from TNT's area, I do not like. I prefer the old style they had from 2007 to 2014. It kind of got me thinking: do you prefer the horizontal scrolling tickers at the top of the screen, or do you prefer the current vertical ones?
I prefer the horizontal. That's just nostalgia to me, and that's what I grew up on. I feel like, don't get me wrong, I like the horizontal ones too, but the vertical ones are just more. They looked more clean, right? There was more attention to detail to it, especially what Fox had in the late 2000s. That's always been one of my favorites. I personally feel like if you leave it on the side of the screen, horizontally, you're not going to be able to really see much. And I'm going to have to agree with everyone else here. I mean, TNT's coverage has not been. I mean, it's been better than Fox. Let's be real here, but it is kind of lacking. So I'm kind of glad that was their final race for the year last week, and we're going back to NBC. I can already hear Sonny saying in the background, "Lee Tiffy, my beloved." Anyways, but no, to answer your question, yeah, I personally prefer, vertical. Or fuck, let me try that again. I prefer horizontal, but that's just me. But God bless Lee Diffie. There it is. I saw it. So, gentlemen, with that being said, do we want to get into green flag, red flag?
Yeah, I mean, I'm ready to go. This is probably going to be the most juiciest red flag, green flag. You know what? I did opposite today. You know what? Fuck it. It's going to be an interesting episode.
So we're doing red flag first, apparently. Got it. No,
yes. No, we're going to do white.
Sure. We'll go with that. Channy, whenever you're ready, I'm ready to go.
All right, boys, you ready for this?
Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
All right, the first topic of green flag, red flag for episode 10. I still can't believe this is episode 10.
Yeah, same.
All right, first topic. Austin Cindric and Joey Logano both have a right rear flat tire multiple times throughout the race on Sunday. Logano had his flat with about 20 laps to go in Stage 3, which resulted in Bubba Wallace winning the race, holding off Kyle Larson in double overtime after a brief rain shower with about 6 laps to go. Green flag, red flag. You know what? I'm going to give it to James for this.
Okay. So there's multiple things in there I want to give flags to. First things first, green flag for NASCAR these past couple of weeks, making sure to get the full race in. I want green flag all the way on that. I love that they're doing that, first and foremost. Red flag on the tire failures. I know I saw on Twitter some people maybe starting to make comparisons like, hey, are we gonna have another 2008 here? With all the tire failures. And gladly it didn't, but still something that's like, okay, what was going on? Because it was just those two guys.
Yeah, I actually, real quick, I'm sorry. I didn't know if he cut out. That's why I waited for him to finish. So to follow up what he said real quick, I'm gonna go. Someone made that comparison that we're gonna have an Indy 2008. I low-key was very worried about that, first and foremost too. But the way I see it, I think that was more of a Penske issue, right? They had probably too much camber, and they probably had the tires probably had a lot of load, so the tires did cord and they did blow. So it wasn't like it was a freak deal. So first and foremost, red flag. Penske had the 2 and the 22 were really fast. I mean, Cindric won a stage, and Logano actually. I'm not a huge Joey Logano fan, and I've made this very clear for years. And I don't really want to say, haha, fuck Joe. I mean, in our circle, I'll joke about that, right? But as far as this goes, I kind of felt bad, right? Because he probably was going to be the car to beat, right? Because nobody could pass. I mean, that's just unfortunate. I'm just glad he was able to bring it to pit road quickly, and that was all said and done, right? So, I mean, here's my thing. Here's my thing about this. Joey just... I don't know what happened to Joey there, right? Because he had a failure, and then he had a power issue with like 10 to go, and he had to take it to the garage, which, unfortunate. As far as Bubba goes, I'm green flag. I will gladly take an underdog win any day, right? And I think this is kind of big for Bubba. Like I mentioned earlier in the show. Also, I wanted to give a quick shout out, by the way, to Freddie Kraft, his spotter. I saw something on Twitter the other night. He dedicated that win to his dad, which, as a lot of people may have known, Freddie lost his dad a couple of years ago, right around this time in 2023. So, I mean, that's big for Freddie, and I'm really happy for him because, unfortunately, I know that feeling all too well, and it really sucks. But really cool to see that he dedicated that Brickyard 400 win in that trophy to his father. Very, very tremendous, and a very just that gained so much respect out of me for Freddie. Freddie seems like he's a really cool dude, and I wish him nothing but the best always. But I gotta say something real quick about that. For those who watch Door Bumper Clear or listen to Door Bumper Clear, I'm surprised he wasn't wasted. Like, he was wasted when when they won at Dega in 21. He was semi-wasted when they won at Kansas. I don't know. I was just surprised he did not come on the show hammered, but good on him. But, yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say for that. I mean, Bubba, I was just really surprised Bubba was able to hold off Larson because he was coming fast, right? So, yeah, I guess I'm green flag on that. Channy?
I just gotta say, like, a huge green flag on this because he was holding off Larson as best as he possibly could during the last few laps, and then once that double overtime hit, Bubba just took off like a fucking rocket and held off Larson for as long as he can. And I seen the aftermath of his win, and dude was emotional with his wife and kid.
Yeah, and I mean, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry,
You're
but
all
I
good.
just wanted
You're all good.
I wanted to touch on that too because that's big. That's big for Bubba. If he's been on a dry spell, and it was good to see that he basically just silenced the haters. I mean, the haters are going to be haters, no doubt about it. But this is a huge win, and anyone who says Bubba did not earn this win, Bubba did not do this, yes, he earned it. He 1000% earned that, and his team made a great call there at the end to save fuel twice, and I thought he was going to run out of gas. But the Toyotas have just been, I know Sonny's not here, but I'm pretty sure we could all agree the Toyotas have been really good at saving fuel this year. I mean, look at what happened with Briscoe at Pocono. So,
And the
go
team
ahead,
is,
And
and the team.
Michigan.
Sorry.
what, James?
I take into account Hamlin won Michigan too, fuel mileage.
Still mad about that. Anyways, but yes, I forgot about Hamlin.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Go ahead, Jenny.
And the team is uncharted, right?
Yes.
I feel like that's like a huge win just for the 23 team in general. So yeah, this is a massive green flag in my foot. In my book, Bubba Wallace really deserved this.
Also, real quick, Denny Hamlin is a Brickyard 400 winner as an owner. As an owner. Checker.
I mean, what else is there to say? Obviously, I'm green flag about the whole thing. Well, I mean, okay. Well, I'm green flag about Bubba Wallace, of course. That's an underdog win. We technically all didn't expect because we literally didn't have him, as a dark horse. Wait, did we not have him as a dark horse last week? I think we didn't.
No, we didn't. But I saw a couple people. Sorry, I saw a couple people pick him this week, and I was really surprised.
And it's actually really cool to see Bubba go to victory lane again, breaking a 100, winless streak. And it's so cool, just a moment for 2311, going through all that shit right now with the whole NASCAR lawsuit at Front Row and all that shit. It's an incredible moment for the team and for Denny, of course, as an owner, and Michael Jordan. Overall, I'm obviously happy for Bubba. Really well-deserved winner. Good battle, by the way, with Larson. Good fuel battle. Honestly, I thought the race would end, obviously when the rain came in, I was like, oh yeah, it's over. We're done. And then they said, oh, we're going to continue. I'm like, oh, okay. So then I got back, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. And I'm actually glad I got to watch the ending, because that was probably one of the coolest endings I've ever seen. And just, yeah. Of course, some yellow flag, of course. I'm kind of, yellow flag on the whole Cindric and Logano thing. Penske has been kind of just, they've been kind of, what the hell's happened? Like, they've been, like, off a cliff, lately. So it's like, I don't know. I'm hoping something gets figured out, but either way, that's basically how I feel. I'm yellow and green, so cool.
Yeah, actually, real quick, before we get to the next topic, since Checker brought up Cindric, I actually saw a video on Twitter about this, and this actually made me kind of chuckle. I shared this with the guys, obviously. I noticed when Cindric got the lucky dog after his tire failure, he went on the radio and actually barked like a dog when his spotter, Doug Campbell, told him he was the lucky dog. I thought that was kind of funny. And I wanted to touch on that specifically because I'm all here for driver personalities. We need more driver personalities like that on the radio. Please. We need more of it. Please. All right, go ahead, Channy. Oh, wait. Hold on. I think Sonny said something in the chat.
Wait.
I'll read that next topic, Channy.
Yeah, that's
Can I say something real quick?
Okay, no, go ahead.
Okay.
I forgot to say it, but I am absolutely green flag for Bubba winning. That's an awesome. It's like I'm not a big Bubba fan, but it's like I love underdog wins.
Right, and who doesn't love an underdog win? It doesn't matter the driver, right? If it was the 77, I mean that's a different story. I'm sorry to say it, but
right.
All right. Next topic. Stewart Friesen, who finished third in the truck race Friday night at RRP, was disqualified for failing post-race tech inspection for his truck being too low on the front right height. This marks the 10th post-race DQ of 2025. Green flag, red flag, checker.
Well, I'm just going to mention this now because James actually posted this tweet. They actually posted up on this tweet, earlier in Truck Series. They mentioned I also appealed it, which we didn't know about. By the way, they tried to appeal the disqualification, which we didn't know about, but of course NASCAR denied that. But
I mean, with all due respect, I kind of saw that coming, right? It's very, very hard to get a post-race DQ overturned. It's
right,
very, and they did admit, NASCAR did see that there was a part failure that caused the truck to be too low, which, I mean, it happens. Shit breaks. But, yeah, go ahead.
but yeah, it's unfortunate, of course, for Stewart. You know, like I said, worked all the way through on those points, got a good finish, and then unfortunate disqualification. This is actually pretty interesting how this is already the 10th DQ in the truck, 10th DQ overall in 2025. It's just something else, but overall, obviously, I'm really red flag. It's unfortunate because Stewart Friesen is an underdog kind of in the truck series, in my personal take. And just a little unfortunate, you know, because he was running well and then, yeah. But that's how NASCAR works, you know, how tech is, so no judgment there.
James?
Red flag. It's just Stewart's had a rough year this year. I mean, yeah, he won Michigan, but it's like every other time it's running good, something happened. Outside the lane where he still finished second. Even then, that was a photo finish loss. So it's like, felt bad for him.
Yeah, and I mean, Stewart's had it rough. I mean, the even bigger oof about this is dude got a good finish at IRP and was DQ'd on his birthday. Like, that sucks. Yeah. Like, I can't imagine that happening to anybody. It's just that's just bad luck, man. Me personally, I'm red flag. I mean, I don't like seeing anyone getting DQ'd. As I've mentioned, when Daniel Dye got DQ'd at Nashville. It's just this is kind of alarming to me because we've already had 10 DQs this year, and we're not even close to the start of the playoffs yet. So, I mean, which is unfortunate because that 52 truck was fast and he had a really good points day too, and just got all of his points just basically wiped away from him. I mean, cue the one scene from from the first Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. So you get nothing! You lose! Good day, sir! Anyways,
Okay.
but no. Sorry. But no, it's just, that's unfortunate. I feel really bad for Stewart. He's had it rough over the last couple of weeks, and obviously we'll get to the next topic here in a second, but I'll continue my point there. Channy?
I got to say... I'm going to say yellow flag on this one.
I mean, that's totally fair. I'll read the next one, too, by the way.
Alright.
Alright, now normally I don't really like to do flags for this kind of topic, but unfortunately this blew up on Twitter and I do need to say it. Moving on to Stewart Friesen again. He was involved in a violent crash in a dirt modified race in Quebec on Monday night. He suffered a broken leg and pelvis and will need multiple surgeries. Green flag, red flag, James.
Green flag in the fact that he's alive, because that was a terrible wreck, and I think it's a miracle he's still alive. I really do, and really hope for his recovery.
Yeah, and I have to agree with James here. Sonny said it himself. He's not doing a flag for this one, and I mean, I don't really want to do this either, but I just need it. There's a reason why I put this in here, and I will mention it. My point aside from the last topic, I'm just glad Stewart's okay. That's the most important thing, but a broken pelvis and a broken leg, that could potentially end his season or potentially his career. That's why I put this topic in here. And that's a red flag because I don't want to see a driver's career end like that. And the wreck was big. It was massive. I'm really glad he was able to, I'm just glad it wasn't as worse as I thought it was going to be, right? And I don't know, man. This is the thing. I've been seeing this on Twitter all week because we all know JGR is like very strict on their drivers going to do outside curricular activities during the season, and this is why. I know Stewart is his own, he owns his own team, but this needs to be a lesson for everybody else, for like Hendrick, JGR, RFK, all of them, right? So it's just, this is why. This is why a lot of those teams are very strict about going to races outside of NASCAR like this. And because God forbid, Alex Bowman was in a dirt midget and he flipped over and broke his back, right? So this is the thing I worry most about stuff like this. So, I mean, I'm red flag on this entire situation. I did see that Stewart's wife, Jessica, did put out another update. I have not read it yet, but I think from my understanding, he's going through surgery right now. Is that correct? If anyone
Got
did
moved to a
see
trauma
that.
center in New York. That's what I saw. So,
Oh, is that what that was?
Yeah, he got moved. He's transferred over to New York now, which into a good facility for him. I'm pretty sure. So
Right, right. Which I believe he is from New York. So, but still, just an unfortunate deal. Checker.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate, honestly, for Stewart Friesen. It's an unfortunate situation. Obviously, red flag as well. It's a very scary situation. When I saw that replay, like I said, I was looking for the replay. I finally found it, and I remember posting it the other chat in here, and then that was just a scare. The fire, and then the rollover. I was just like, holy shit, is he alive? I thought. I'm just hoping he was alive. I'm glad that God bless above, he's okay. That was a scary ass situation, and it's unfortunate because this is basically potentially a career ending, also a season ending, type of injury. And unfortunately, that's something we don't want to see as, NASCAR fans or just any other racing fans in general. It's just an unfortunate situation. But the only, kick in the nuts as well is not only, like I said, he's already, disqualified, from, you know, truck race, on Friday, but now potentially he's basically out of the now the whole truck season now, and basically that playoff win he earned is basically just vanished, gone. Basically, this gives a new order and a new decision for another spot open for another driver that was already below the cutoff line to try to take over and all that. Like, this is a huge deal for drivers. That safety is a main reason that drivers are alive to this day, and I'm hoping this sets an example for any other drivers in NASCAR who want to do all those other activities outside of NASCAR. So basically, God bless Stewart Friesen. Glad he's alive, and I don't know what else to say. I'm just red flag, and I'm just glad it wasn't worse than we were expecting.
All right. Well, unfortunately, I hate to do this to you, Checker, but I'm going to have to pull an actually moment on you to back up what you said about his spot being vanished. That is not true because his truck is actually now in the owner's playoff battle. So even if he gives up his playoff win as a driver, his truck can still race for the playoffs for the owner's title. So I wanted to ask this question to everybody. Well, mainly I want to ask this question to James because James would be more knowledgeable in this because Sonny's not here right now. Well, I mean, yes, he's here, but who do you see driving that 52?
I mean, I'm thinking it's got to be a Toyota guy for sure. And my first thought was maybe Brent Cruz, possibly get in there, or Lawless Allen because they're Toyota guys and stuff. And Lawless has got a good amount of truck experience too, which I think he would be probably better than Brent to say because of the truck experience. Although if they've got races scheduled in the track on one truck still.
Well, my thing is, I don't think Brent would be old enough. Brent's 17. I don't think he'd be old enough to race on the bigger track. So I don't really think that would be a plausible idea. I mean, I think it would be done on tracks you'd be allowed to race at. Me, I think it would be a good candidate for that ride would be, this is going to sound really crazy when I say this, but if you've seen ARCA, you probably understand why I say that, but I think Isabella Robusto would be a really good candidate for that truck. Give her some truck experience. She's done a really good job in the 55 car Aventurini, and I don't want to simp, and I'm not simping. Let's be real here, but I feel like that would be a good learning curve for her, because she's been fairly successful in everything she's gotten into, and she's been doing fairly well in ARCA. I mean, granted, there's no real great competition in ARCA except for like a couple of cars, but outside of that, she's had a couple top fives, a couple top tens. She's been doing a pretty good job, so I think that would be a good chance for her to move up and gain some experience into getting into NASCAR, and that's basically one of her dreams. and that would basically shut all the haters up too on her behalf too. That would be the nice little middle finger, as some people just straight up need it. Sonny said he could see that, which, I mean, who doesn't? I'm all for Toyota. Toyota doesn't really have that many prospects that can fill in for other drivers in that regard, because I don't think because of NASCAR's policy of Cup drivers running in lower series, there is a rule for that, and I don't think that's going to happen. So we can. Someone said, "Oh, Denny Hamlin should go drive the 52 show." I'm like, "Are you fucking serious? Like, are we for real here?"
That's so cursed.
That's so
Yeah.
us. May I suggest? I don't know. Let's just for a March or just one race for the lulz.
What?
I
I mean,
don't
technically,
know.
Truex could fill in. He's not a full-time Cup.
That's what I'm saying. Like, can we just? I don't. It doesn't even have to be like for multiple races. Just give him at least one race, just one track. Just let him run at least just one truck race.
He's not going to run a
Truex
truck.
Talladega.
Oh no, he's not running Dega. Are you kidding me?
Could you just imagine? Imagine like we're just sitting down entry list for Talladega playoffs. So you just see Mark Truex here at the 52. I'm like, what?
No. Martin hates drafting tracks. Are you kidding me? No, we're not putting him in the 52 truck at Dega. No, that's not happening. Yeah, yeah. Sonny's calling us out in our chat right now. No, but I feel like, respectfully, I think Isabella Robusto would be a good pick in my opinion. Oh boy. Wait, what?
I think she will do. I think that's a good option there.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Channy, the topic we've all been waiting for.
Speaking
Oh wait, I did never give you your chance for your flag. I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
probably just for the sake of the topic that we just talked about for the injuries, I just want to say I wish Stewart a speedy recovery.
Yeah, and everybody. Yeah, real quick. I'm so sorry. We're backtracking, and that's my fault. No, and it's just more so. This is everybody's been talking about this. It doesn't not just NASCAR, but I've seen a lot of people in media talk about this. This was a big wreck. So I really wish him a very speedy recovery. Anyways, next topic.
And speaking of middle fingers, Austin Hill right-hooked Aric Almirola in Turn 3 on Saturday's Xfinity race with 10 laps to go. Hill was parked 5 laps for reckless driving and was later suspended for 1 race and lost all of his playoff points. In response to his 5-lap penalty, he said over the radio, "They can go fuck themselves. Fuck NASCAR. That's bullshit." I'm just going to give it straight to AJ.
Red flag. Automatic red flag. First and foremost, we do not right hook people. I have said this for years. If you right hook somebody, you should be suspended. All right? This has been a very controversial topic. I know this. But, wow. Just fucking wow. There was absolutely no reason to this. Because, let's be fair here, all right? Let's look at this. Let's dissect this, all right? The 19 didn't really even do anything wrong here. He just got Austin a little loose, and Austin was able to correct it and save it, you know. He was able to recover it, which, I mean, and I guess big boy fucking big back here just decided to go over his head and just fucking right hook Aric for no reason, you know? And no, I that is unacceptable. We do not need to be right hooking everybody. There's no reason for this. Like, I get it. People get emotional. It's the heat of the moment, but this is just unacceptable. That could have been huge for Aric, and that was a very hard hit that he took in turn 3. And if I'm not mistaken, that wall does not have a safer barrier too. So that was really, really bad. And Aric said over the radio that was reminiscent to his crash at Kansas when he broke his back. And no, we should not. No, just absolutely not. I mean, do I feel like the suspension was... Did he deserve the suspension? Well, let's be real here. If you go ahead and go on the radio and MF NASCAR for parking you for 5 laps, yeah, that warrants a suspension. I'm sorry, but you basically just threw away your whole season right there. Because any playoff points you get from this point on, NASCAR takes them away after you've been suspended. So, fuck you, I almost said fuck you, NASCAR. No, fuck you, Austin Hill, because you have turned yourself into public enemy number one here. Because you potentially put a driver's life at risk by right hooking somebody at 165, 170 miles an hour. Get real here. Maybe, Tommy Baldwin said it best on DBC. This is what happens when you mess with Austin just a little bit. He overreacts. This cannot be happening. That could have been really big and really devastating. So, red flag. James?
I mean, I don't know if I want to go red flag or black flag on that, because it's absolutely unacceptable. I do not agree with the concept of right hooking. I mean, I can get retaliation. I can get that. That was not need for retaliation. And even then, don't right hook someone to an outside wall. That's just absolutely not sane. Yeah, and Aric did not hit a safer barrier. He hit a concrete wall.
That's what makes this whole thing worse. That's just wow. Just unbelievable.
Yeah,
and
then
so my
say
question,
what he said to NASCAR.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
And say what he said to NASCAR on the radio afterwards when it's pretty blatantly obvious you intentionally wrecked him. It's like, I think he probably should have sent him more. Maybe 2 races, probably.
I feel like with him, and this is my question I was going to ask you, do you feel like NASCAR should have parked him for the rest of the race? Because, I mean, we had like less than 5 to go after the green flag came out. Do you feel like he should have been parked for the rest of the race?
I absolutely agree with that. There's no point in just parking him for 5 laps, and there was just barely over 5 left. Plus the red flag time they were seeing on pit road anyway.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know, man. It's just, this has been a very hot topic this week because everybody's been talking about it. And hold on, I think Sonny said something. 1 second, I'm sorry. Considering how late in the race it was, why bother letting him run like that? Run at the one on the final lap. I mean, he's not wrong. He's not entirely wrong here. But my thing is, everyone's been comparing this to what happened at COTA with Cindric and Ty Dillon. And even Richard Childress kind of got smart about it because they're like, oh, we're a blue-collar sport and we always get in trouble. Well, Richard, newsflash, if your drivers didn't do shit like this wouldn't be happening and you would not be in trouble with NASCAR to begin with. Just saying. Maybe just shut up and do your fucking job. And manage your fucking team. Is it really that fucking hard? Is it really that hard, Richard? No?
Wait, what did Sonny say? Wait, what is that? Richard, I thought you were focusing on making our cars better, not defending Golden Boy.
I mean, he's not wrong because, literally, look at what happened at Richmond when Austin Dillon wrecked the 22 and the 11. Defended the hell out of Austin for doing that. When literally the whole NASCAR base was just fucking fuming over that.
Yeah.
Look, I get it. Wait, what?
I was just saying, God, I feel bad if I feel bad for Sonny. He just wants Kyle Busch probably out of this fucking team at this point.
You know what? And it's just, here's my thing. Back to the main point of this topic. I've seen a lot of people ask this. What was different? I don't know what's different with what happened with the 2 and the 10 at COTA. I don't care if it was a speed thing. I do not care. A right hook is a right hook. Cindric should have been suspended for it. I know it was a low speed impact, but that's dangerous. A right hook is dangerous. We do not need to be doing this to other drivers. I'm red flagged. So, Checker, go ahead.
In all honesty, I'm black flag on this. Like, there's a fine line between, intentional and, accidental. And what Austin Hill did is really unacceptable at this point. You literally saved it, and then you decide to fucking, say, let's send it. And then, almost probably could have, seriously injured somebody, into that wall after spinning him, which was really, uncalled for. And I honestly think the suspension was justified. I've had a lot of people, I've seen a lot of fucking, videos, or pictures, some people even compare this to, what was it, the fucking Elliott and Hamlin, that, thing. What was that?
Oh, when Chase
Yeah.
right hooked Denny at Charlotte in
Yeah,
2023.
everyone compared that as well to that situation. I'm like, okay, but like Austin Hill, just well, it's Austin Hill. What do we
He,
really expect?
he overreacted.
Yeah, and then what the fuck do you think is gonna happen when you fucking blast out and fucking bitch at NASCAR for parking you, even though you did this fucking thing where it's like you almost
You
probably
made it obvious.
you made it obvious and you almost like injured somebody, like severely almost set them in, like, well, you literally set them in the wall, and then you complain how NASCAR parks you, and then you tell them to fuck off. Oh yeah, that's gonna totally look good on your resume, I'm just saying, but it's I have no sympathy. It's wait, what is this? Austin Hill versus 2010's Kyle Busch, radioactive nightmare. Oh Jesus Christ. Anyways, no, but like getting back to it, it's obviously unacceptable. This is why we as fans see this and just say, what the actual fuck is wrong with you? And this is why people always ask why some people hate Austin Hill. This is the fucking reason. This is the reason why. Because he's so fucking over in his head. He thinks it's all about him. God damn. But for real, I'm glad Aric Almirola, is obviously, okay and safe. But god damn, it's fucking ridiculous, And I'm glad the suspension, is, justified. But overall, something's gotta change. Something's gotta, be more strict because this is getting ridiculous. Each race worries about drivers getting injured, week by week. It's just unfortunate. But in the case of Austin Hill, it's unacceptable. And honestly, it's disrespectful too, in my personal opinion. So I'm just black flag on the topic, and I'm just done, talking about this before I actually blow a fucking muscle. You blow a muscle from anger, but it's fine. Whatever.
I've been watching the replay in the Xfinity Series chat just over and over and over again, and yeah, first, Aric was trying to get past Hill, but he kind of pushed Hill a little bit, and then you can see his hands in the windshield, and he didn't he didn't even hesitate. He turned into Aric Almirola and just sent him straight to the wall. And I basically agree with their ruling with NASCAR, penalizing Austin Hill and suspending him for the race, plus taking his playoff points away. He deserves that 100% because you just don't go around just right hook every single car that you see. Honestly, he stayed out for the entire race. And sorry to sound like that person, but karma's gonna be coming for Austin Hill one way or another. So black flag.
Yeah, because you realize he just threw away his entire season with that right hook.
He did. He really did.
So I have no sympathy for him either. My question to you guys is, did he basically just bury his own grave, considering he just got penalized and suspended? Do you feel like this could be the end of his season?
Honestly, yeah. I mean, obviously, a lot of people are going to be defending, of course, because it's that. But but I have another big question with the Austin Hill thing. I've been thinking about this, since yesterday before the podcast. I was thinking to myself, does this example right here, this attitude, this example, does this kind of also make him kind of an enemy, even though he does part time, in the Cup Series? Do you think this is kind of a shoot, like a kind of a shoot on himself, basically, to like say that he gets a cup ride? Yeah, get a cup ride with everything. For example, that Aric Almirola thing. Do you think that kind of screws him out of a chance? If he ever got a cup ride?
Absolutely. That just potentially threw away a potential cup ride for him. With RCR, or I mean, I don't want to say with RCR, but just in general, yeah, that could have potentially just ruined a potential Cup career right there. Which I mean, that's no. Why am I saying that's unfortunate? No, he did that to himself. I mean, you don't do shit like this. This is how you lose your potential to move up in the series. Again, let me say it again. So you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir. You fucking you made your bed. Fucking lie in it. You did this to yourself.
Sorry,
I don't know.
So I apologize to interrupt. First off, shut up, dogs. Second off, yeah, after that right hook, he basically just dug his own grave.
Yeah, he ruined his own season. The dude had 21 playoff points. All of them are gone. All of them. Now, he's able to gain playoff points. But NASCAR's going to take them right back. Because if you get suspended, you lose every single playoff point you earn throughout the entire season, even after the suspension. So, he did this to himself. Next topic.
All right, let me find the notes real quick. Sorry, I was scrolling down just to see what Sonny said. He said if he still goes on to win the title, he's gonna crash out.
Nah, I don't think he's. I'm gonna be real with you. I think him right hooking the 19, I think this ruined his season. So I don't really think he's gonna be a title contender anymore after this.
All right, looks like this is the final green flag, red flag topic for this episode. Christopher Bell and Zane Smith made contact on the first overtime restart. Zane said he was right hooked, and after reviewing the replay, NASCAR did not suspend Christopher Bell. Green flag, red flag, checker.
Yeah, and I've been seeing a lot of these goddamn comparisons. Everyone says, "Oh my god, Christopher Bell just did what Austin Hill did." Literally, shut the fuck up. He literally, it may look like it looked like, but he really didn't. It was honestly NASCAR's call on it was just obviously not intentional. I don't think Christopher meant to get into Zane Smith from what I saw, but I don't know. It's been a whole fucking controversy on Twitter, but it's Twitter. We're talking about how NASCAR is on Twitter, but overall, it's just the dynamic of people comparing Austin Hill to Christopher Bell, thing is kind of stupid. I don't think honestly Christopher Bell did nothing in the wrong, in my personal opinion. From what I saw, like I said, on the angle point with Zane Smith, but I really don't have a full answer to the topic, obviously, because little to minimum on my watching replays. But I think whatever the decision was with NASCAR, it was called, I guess, down the middle. But I'm just yellow flag on topic. I would have to look at stuff a little bit better, watch it a few more times. But overall, I'm just yellow flag on the topic.
I'm red flag. I mean, I can see why Zane thinks he was right hooked, but I looked at the replay and it was not intentional. Christopher's not really the driver to do that. And he even said it himself. He screwed up. But I don't really think that was a right hook. That was more so he misjudged the situation. And there was a hole there, and he tried to fill the hole. And it was just, the timing was not right. Unfortunate for Zane because he had a really good car and was actually going to have a solid day. But, I don't really see how this was a right hook, in my opinion. And even props to Christopher, because after the race, he went up to the 38 guys and literally apologized to literally the entire team, which that takes a lot of balls. After the fact, you just wrecked their driver, right? So Christopher did the right thing and owned up to his mistake. Very good. I'm very proud of him for that, because not a lot of guys will just flat out admit. He knew he screwed up, but no. To answer everyone's question on Twitter, no, this was not a right hook. We didn't really get a good look at his hands from the replay, and I don't really think this was intentional by any means. It was just more of a, hey, it's crunch time, I need to make a move here, and he just misjudged the situation. But, yeah, I'm red flag. But, James, what do you think, man?
I mean, green flag on the fact that he did go and apologize. That's massive respect to him for doing that. But, I mean, red flag on it. I looked at it, and originally, I mean, I could make a case originally seeing it. I could see a case for both, because it did seem like it was a misjudgment, but it seemed really egregious, overly egregious to be a misjudgment. And NASCAR's got the SMT data and stuff, so they were able to make the right decision, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I feel like NASCAR did make the right decision here by not. I mean, Christopher was called to the holler at the end of the race, but I'm glad he wasn't, penalized for this. And good on NASCAR. I mean, respectfully, I think they called him to the holler just be like, "Hey, what happened?" type of thing. They just wanted to get his side of the story, just for clarification, because I think they were already kind of over it at this point because of what happened with the 21 and the 19 on Saturday. So, I mean, just understandable. But yeah, Danny.
I'm just gonna say that I'm yellow flag throughout the situation.
Understandable. Real quick, before we get to the picks, I just wanted to mention: do we feel like this was a shit show this weekend?
Well, besides trucks, everything else, yeah. Okay, well, okay. Trucks really good. Xfinity, yeah. And then Sunday a Cup. It's all because Twitter blew up because Bubba Wallace won. But I don't think Sunday. I don't think you can overshine Friday and Sunday. Those were like the best parts. Saturday was just something to forget about. Like that race was just something to forget about.
I mean, Sonny said a little bit of a yes and no. Too much chaotic shit happened, but Bubba winning put a smile on my face. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that fact. I feel like we've seen a whole lot worse, but I think the shit show nominee this week was definitely Austin Hill. If we had a What an Idiot award for this, he was my What an Idiot this week. Just saying. Because right hooking a guy is just dangerous, and that should be just straight up facts at this point. All right, we have picks. The Xfinity Series and the Cup Series are both going to Iowa this week. I will do Sonny's picks first. He picked he picked Jesse Love for the Xfinity race, which I can see that. His dark horse was Christian Eckes. He also picked Christopher Bell for his Cup pick, and his dark horse is Carson Hocevar. Okay, I can see that. That's some pretty solid picks. James, what do you got?
I'm going to start off with Xfinity. My Xfinity pick is a guy, I'm pretty sure he's won at Iowa before, defending champ Justin Allgaier. I think, he can win whenever something doesn't go wrong for him. He's usually the best guy out there. A dark horse is JRM teammate Carson Quaffle. I feel like I was going to be the track that suits him best. Late model experience that he's had and stuff.
Yeah. I think Carson is going to be someone to definitely watch this weekend for sure. And before I let you get your Cup pick, I wanted to say this. He's come very close on these short tracks. I think this is going to be a big weekend for him. So please watch out for that one team. They're going to be really fast. And your Cup picks?
My Cup race pick, I think he finally gets it done. Ty Gibbs finally wins a Cup race. I think that I did see he didn't run well at Iowa last year, but I just think that 54 team's on the up. I think that's he'll run well this weekend. And for my dark horse, mentioned I think earlier before probably I don't remember if it was before we started recording or right at the beginning. Connor Nemechek. That's my dark horse. I think he and Lexi are on the up and up, and I think he's going to be able to run well there.
Yeah, I think John Hunter is going to get a win, and this could potentially be a weekend for him to do that. I will take Taylor Gray for the Xfinity race. I feel like he's come very close over the last couple of weeks. I think this might be the shot he finally gets it done. I will also take Ryan Sieg as my dark horse. He finished second here in 2018. He's been really good this season, and I think this is going to be, he's going to play a little bit of a surprise spoiler in the playoffs if he gets this win. So those two are definitely going to be one to watch. I will take Josh Berry for the Xfinity. Wow. Josh Berry for the Cup win. He had a really good run here last year. I think he's going to get it done. My dark horse will be Carson Hocevar. As unfortunate as I don't really want him as a dark horse, but I think he's going to have a good weekend, and this might potentially lock himself into the playoffs. So he's going to be one to watch for sure, too. Checker.
Been doing a lot of research, but do a lot of thinking about this. So let's start with Xfinity. My Xfinity pick, I'm going to pick Sammy Smith to, win Iowa. I think there's something in that 8 that could do something very incredible on the short track. I'm just curious to see how he does. My dark horse is going to be Nick Sanchez. I think that 48 team might be a little quiet, but I think something's going to come to that 48 team. Quiet, but sure. My Cup pick, I have to be biased for this since he won here last year. I got to pick Ryan Blaney to win at Iowa because I think Ryan he's got it down. Like I said, he got it down last year. I think something can happen with that 12 team. I just hope we don't have the Penske bad luck, this year for the last few weeks. And my dark horse is going to be Zane Smith for the Cup Series. I think Zane is going to have an interesting day, and I'm curious to see how that 38 team is going to do. And yeah, I'm just going to pass on to Channy because Garrett Smithley's in the 14 again.
And I want you to go fuck yourself. So, before I announce who my picks are, this is the first time in history I placed my picks down like just a few minutes before the actual Iowa picks, and most of y'all got my picks. Alright, here we go. So for Xfinity, give me Sammy Smith. What?
No, you would. I'm not surprised. Continue.
And for my dark horse, give me Ryan Sieg.
Okay, that's a solid dark horse.
For my Cup pick, give me Ryan Blaney.
Why?
Because.
Last time I checked, I got a Penske sim. So why did you pick Ryan Blaney?
Wait, did you all not just see what Sonny just put in the chat? I'm dying.
Won't ain't ready when I pick Cody. Where am I Daytona pick?
I wasn't ready for when I picked the NY racing car at Daytona.
Here's your dark horse, Channy.
My dark horse is John Hunter Nemechek.
So you literally wait a minute. So looking at all your picks are not bad, okay? I'm not going to give you shit for that. What I am going to give you shit for is literally you picked a majority of the same picks we picked. So tell me you copied off of someone's homework without telling me you made it obvious.
I honestly did not, because I've been DMing you my picks, and I sent you my picks around like 3:05 before the picks came out.
Right, but the picks you picked, tell me you copied off of somebody's homework without making it look obvious. You made it look obvious. No,
this is where I'm gonna go find the nearest bridge.
Why find the nearest bitch when you have yourself?
No, I said bridge.
Hey, sometimes cut the bridge. Anyways.
Well, in this case, we're gonna have to get a chainsaw to cut it down for Channy, right?
Anyways.
All right, so real quick before we get out of here, I actually wanted to mention Colleague Racing did release Josh Williams in the 11 car. Carson Hocevar will be subbing for Josh Williams this weekend at Iowa. So I want to ask a question. Is this a case of Colleague has just underperformed, or did Josh Williams piss away a good ride?
That's the tough part, because Josh Williams, don't get me wrong, he's kind of been kind of underperformed ever since getting to Colleague, but Colleague's also been kind of dog shit this year. I ain't gonna lie to you, on both Xfinity and Cup, they've been kind of slacking and kind of dog shit, to be honest. And I agree. Yeah, I just saw what Sonny just said. Teams underperforming, even with Josh. The other two are really not doing any better. Yeah, that's very true as well. So, in my personal take, I think this is basically, in my personal hands, 50-50. 50% is Josh Williams, just, unfortunate, underperforming, and Colley's just, dog shit, this year. That's just me.
So I heard a rumor they might actually be shutting their Xfinity program down too, which that's kind of unfortunate because I don't want to make this comparison by any means, but they've literally turned into SHR. Like, SHR was actually, Colleague was actually really good with their Xfinity program a couple years ago. It's just, I don't know what happened. Like,
I was going to say, I'm kind of glad you brought that up because... Oh, what's up?
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
First, Fresh Fries cleared that air up this morning on Sirius XM. He said they're not shutting down the Xfinity program. He
Yeah,
said,
okay.
quote unquote, it's their backbone.
Yeah, I was gonna say because I just put the tweet in up chat, like James just mentioned. Yeah, they're not shutting down.
Yeah, and it's just I don't know what the deal is going on. They need a rebuild. Colleague has struggled immensely. I mean, look at who they had in 2021. They had AJ, they had Justin Haley, and they had Jeb Burton, which that was their all-star lineup in 21, right? And I don't know, man. And a lot of AJ went back to Cup for the Colleague Cup effort, and AJ's kind of struggled there too. And I feel like there's something wrong. There's something wrong for sure, and I don't know what it is. So, I mean, I don't know, man. I really don't. I really want them to succeed because Colleague is there. Chris Rice, everyone at Colleague, they've had a really good. They built a really good program here, and I don't want to see it to get pissed away. And I guess this is kind of the instance of what happens when you hire drivers who don't really have enough to show, the credit to show themselves, right? So, and I'm not saying Christian Eckes is a bad driver, right? But he doesn't really have a whole lot of experience, and it's not necessarily his fault in this instance too. Christian just has had bad luck. Daniel Dye, I feel like the only reason why he got that ride is because Richard Petty's, he's related to Richard Petty. That's what I feel like. That's what that is. As far as Josh goes, I feel like he pissed away a potentially good ride. But he's also had some breaks that were not really in his favor either. So I'm going to agree and say that's a 50-50 issue. But I wish Josh Williams the best, and I hope he gets a better ride here soon, or a ride in particular. So, I mean, I don't like seeing drivers lose their rides, and this is no different. I don't care who it is. But on that note, we're going to get out of here. As always, it was a great episode. Thank you for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Also, real quick, I wanted to mention, James, we appreciate your time today. Thank you for joining us.
I'm very glad to be. I'm open to it. I'm open. Yeah.
Yes, sir. But as always, like I said, comment, like, and subscribe, and drink your fucking water, please. Especially in this fucking heat. Please do it. With that note, this is AJ signing out.
This is Channy signing out.
Oh, I usually wait for to go last.
Sunny is non-existent.
Okay, guess I'll go now. Sorry. Let's check your site out. We're off and away. We're heading to Iowa. Let me get past this air quality real quick. And yeah, we'll see you on the next episode. We appreciate you being here and see you after Iowa. Bye-bye.